Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. This is the art of sampling, and today we're going to craft a classic, a modern classic. We're going to flip a sample, and I'm going to show you guys how to add your own spin to the sample, whether that's adding your own instruments and melodies or just completely changing the vibe of the sample. First thing I like to do is find the sample, but then I don't like to craft with the sample just yet. So I have a sample here. Okay, it's just kind of vibey, and we're gonna add that in Serato Sample. So the first step is grab Serato Sample, the best plugin for all things sampling. You shouldn't really use anything else. Serato just does so much work for you that it takes a lot of wasted time out. Let's go to Find Samples, and it will automatically find samples for us. In FL, you can right-click your typing keyboard, switch this to Octave 3, C, and then Layout Piano, and you can play with your typing keyboard. Alright, we could always swap out the song, but the first thing is getting the vibe of the sample. So I usually record just like a little demo of where I'm starting with the sample, just to have the music there, because I need to match the drums I'm about to pick with the music. Let's do this. Now, one thing I want to do is slow this down. In Serato, we can go here to where it says key. All right, let's just record something here. One. Alright, so we're at 140 BPM. That's a really high BPM. What I'll do is I'll lower this down to like 88. If you're going boom bap, we're going to go 88. But I'm going to tap out a tempo. So let's go to like 150-ish, because I'm going to add modern trap drums. And here, let's go to our piano roll. Let's hit Alt-Q to quantize. Now again, I'm not going to build, and I'm also going to hit Control-L. But I'm not going to build the track around that. I'm just going to use that tonally, because the next step is finding drums that match that vibe. Now, what I would recommend is you guys use Gold Clip. This plugin just changes the whole sonic of your sound. So I'm going to produce going into Gold Clip. It even makes my voice sound better. Okay, so this is basically a clipping plugin. I love the gold knob, which is like saturation. Then we have like a transformer, I think that is. And so now we could just run our sounds through Gold Clip to create that authentic texture. So now I'm going to go through my library and pick out some sounds. We're looking for more trap drums to keep it modern. Let's go to some new kits that I'm not even like familiar with yet. Let's go to some of these new stuff. This new stuff. You guys got to look for drum kits online. Let's hit Control-L, send that to the mixer. It's a good one here. So the snare and the kick are going to be your main two drums that need to match the texture of the actual song. Let's add this in pattern 2 here. And now I'm going to create a drum pattern. So I'm going to go boom, 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 like something like that. Boom, Now for the kick, we're going to go to the graph editor, turn the velocity down on that second snare. So boom, boom, So boom. All right, we're going to use that graph editor, turn that velocity down. And now we're going to do the same thing, but just with more bounce at the end. Again, don't listen to everything about the sample yet. That's just a placeholder. Now, the one thing we want to take out of the sample, because it's changing the groove, we want to take out what's called the bass and really any drums people perceive this track. And I'm using somebody's random kit right now. I've not heard these sounds. Let's hit Control L. Let's right click, fill each 2 steps for the hi-hats. Let's turn this hi-hat. 3, 4. So now I'm going to right click, go to piano roll. For the second hi-hat, let's take this 3rd note, hit Control Shift to highlight those. It's a little hard to see because it's all right. And then we're going to drag it out, hit Alt U to chop it up. So we just made a hi-hat roll. I'm actually going to move these over. Let's also pull, pitch these down, hit Shift down. Now with the gold clip on the master, we can really push our drums to get a texture. So let's start cranking the volume here. I'm gonna pitch the kick down just a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is go through and change out the key to get different vibes. For the hi-hat, let's go to the wrench tool. And firstly, let's trim any silence here. And let's go to the wrench tool, turn up time shift. Now we got to figure out what to add to this. So I have a Korg Kronos here that I'm also going to use as a MIDI controller, but I guess we don't need the MIDI right now because we're going to use the sounds. Let's turn this off. So now I'm adding my own sounds to this track. So there are 4 layers. When you guys are doing this, think of these 4 layers. You have the top line. It's your like singable melody. Then you have the harmony section. That's your chords. Then you have the contrast layer. And then we have the rhythm section. Okay, so we can combine any of those layers. So let's figure out the key first before we start going in. We could look at Serato, but sometimes it's wrong about the key. It says B minor, but let's double check that with Scalar 2. And what we're going to do with this is basically, once this loads up, we are going to hit the notes and make sure they match. See how that C note's not in there? Let's remove that. So we're in B minor. Okay, so it was correct. We could also be in D major, which is the relative scale. You don't need to know that. So it's B minor slash, what was it? D major. Forgot that fast. D major. Okay. I might change the kick. The kick's a little too boomy. Like it's too long of a kick. Actually, before we do that, let's fade out the kick. I might swap that kick out towards the end of this beat, but it's just too boxy sounding because they distorted the kick. It's a little bit better, but I might swap it. Remember, we could push our sounds because we have gold clip. Alright, let's find some sounds from the keyboard here. on top of the actual scale, we have what's called tuning. So this is a little flat, it sounds like. So we need to raise the pitch. So I have to do this manually in my keyboard, is tune the keyboard up in frequency. So it's not at 440 hertz tuning. So now let's start adding layers. Again, we have the harmony section, the top line, the contrast layer, and the rhythm section. We could add any of those areas to the sample. Let's ask, what does the sample have? It has a rhythm in there, dang, 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 and that rhythm is playing a harmony. So technically we have two of the layers already accounted for. So now we can add contrast and well, technically we have top line with the vocal. So really, contrast layer is the only area where we can add something without it conflicting. But also too, we can layer harmonies and top line. We just have to make sure it matches the actual sample. Let's record these in. This is giving me a vibe of like Running by Metro Boomin. Shout out to Metro. Let's record this in. Alright, you guys look at the project file, so don't try to memorize like everything I'm doing. That kind of keyboard, the closest thing you guys could get without buying the plugin is in Flex. They have a keyboard, let me just show you real quick, called, I think it's the Yamaha C7. So if you go to Get, download the Essential Pianos, and under Essential Pianos, the Yamaha C7 sounds the best to me. It sounds really close to the real thing. So it has a very authentic sound. Okay, it's just a little bit different in sonics there. So let's turn this down, it's a little loud. Now what I'm gonna do here is add a sub layer, simple sine wave, nothing crazy, 3x OSC. Turn the two oscillators down, 2 and 3, and then turn the coarse pitch down. We're gonna go to the wrench tool, turn on mono mode so we don't overlap notes. And now we can add like a super sub layer. Basically, we're just going to play the same exact thing. It's just in the sub octave. So let's add another contrast layer here. And I wish there was a quick way to do that. MIDI wise, I'm just going to kind of memorize what the heck I did. Let's add a pattern in here. So I started at the root note, which is B. Let's right click, go to piano roll. Let's go to B. And what I'll do to save you guys' brain is turn this down. All right, so all I'm trying to do here is just match the notes that I played, but we're going to play them down an octave. And remember, we need to tune this 3x OSC the same way we tune the keyboard. So we have to tune it down. Let's go to pitch range 1 and tune this down. I think, let me match the exact value here. I tuned mine down 16 cents. You can read the value in the top left. So 16 cents. So this should match the tonality. Okay, yeah. Let me turn off my mic because it feeds back. All right, now match the notes. We're gonna go in and pull them down an octave so they're only in the sub octave to create what's called the fundamental frequency to really boost up the lows here. And let's turn that up. Now it's gonna get crazy with the kick, the bass, and that sound. Or I should say the bass with the contrast piano and that sound. So we're stacking up a lot of frequencies. We might have to sidechain, but for now, let's just level it out. Now on this part, I kind of want the bass to jump a little bit, like boom, 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 something like that. So I just want to add a little motion to the bass, even though the contrast piano is not moving. Here's before. Here's after. It's more controlled sounding. All right, so now we have the beat. Let's see if we can make like a little intro. We may or may not, but it's definitely giving that like running vibes by Metro. Let's see if we can get my Titani. Let's get that vibe where it's like the intro. I think that's a pretty cool intro. Let's play that one. turn that sample into a classic. Subscribe if you're new, share with a friend. Peace.